What is up, everybody? It's Sunday night at 7 o'clock, and it's that time of the week again for Gaming Beyond the Box. So, it is Mother's Day. Luckily for me, I only met my mother once, and we weren't really friends, so I don't really have any obligations. I would go take her to dinner, but I really don't want to go get bitch up all the way in Ohio. So, and it'd probably be weird and awkward for everybody, at the cemetery. So, on that note, that is where the rest of the panel is. They actually have moms they're going to go spend time with and get lovey-dovey. So, let's get it moving with the three of us. All right, at the bottom, and he's at the bottom by himself. What is up, Peniac, and what have you been playing, sir?
What's up, everybody? A little short-handed tonight, but that just means that I might talk more, so prepare for that. Yeah, good times. Weather's nice this weekend. As far as what I've been playing, I only got in about an hour of the Server Slam, Diablo 4. And that was my first ever taste of a Diablo.
Really?
Yeah.
You sad human.
Yeah. But the hour that I played, I loved it. So I'm probably picking it up when it comes out, and I had no intention of doing so. So yeah, let's go.
Dude, I love Diablo. Diablo is one of those games that just consumes your life.
Well, like the first 3 were initially PC only, right? And then they ported 3 to consoles, and then and I just never got into it. So, and didn't really PC game very much. So
that was
never
the
played
first
them,
game.
So.
That was the very first game I ever played online was Diablo 1. And I played it with whopping 56K internet.
Yeah. But no, I loved it. I was playing the Rogue, which I tend to gravitate towards in fantasy settings. The precision melee classes are my jam. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Fair enough. Man, it's going to be easy to introduce the panel today, ain't it? And then to my right, we have the Rabbit Canadian, my good friend Noof Nukem. What is up, Noof?
Boom, boom, kaboom, and welcome. Yes, it is good to be here on Gaming Beyond the Box. It's been a long time coming. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and to all the motherfuckers as well. So, yes, it's going to be a good show. We got the threesome going here right now. It's going to be a good one indeed. As far as playing stuff, well, man, I've been playing a little bit of Ravenlock. I've been playing some Redfall. Just kind of a lot of stuff in between, you know what I mean? And so good times. Backlog is still there and never seems to tire. So, but this is going to be a good show. Welcome to the chat. I can't wait to get into the topics, and let's see where this goes. Boom, boom, kaboom.
Yeah.
And speaking of Redfall, I did not get a chance to play Diablo this weekend, sadly. I really wanted to do the server slam. I haven't got a chance to do it yet. But I did play a little more Redfall. I did not realize there was a second island or second part of the map. The game, I don't know, man. I still haven't had the issues that some people have had. It's still not the best game in the world, but it's still not the worst I've ever played.
Kind of grows on you, right?
That's the weird part. And I've been playing solo.
Like a weird fungus.
Well, kind of like the crabs, you think you got rid of it, but they keep coming back. For some reason, though, I just keep playing it. I killed the one guy, the Hollow Man. I killed him completely by myself in less than 5 minutes. I keep picking up all these crazy overpowered weapons. I had a shotgun that killed him in like 10 shots. But I mean, it's not terrible. Like I said, man, I've played a lot worse. A whole lot worse.
Yes.
So I still don't see all the hate. But on that note, I've seen a lot of people hating on Redfall for 30 FPS. So how's that 20 FPS on Zelda? Because I'm pretty sure, I've seen some people playing Zelda. I'm not a Nintendo person. I played the original Zelda.
Yep.
And the original is still one of my favorite games ever. I can still sit down and play the original Zelda and go to every hidden thing on that map. I know where everything's located all these years later. The new Zeldas really don't do anything for me because I grew up and I don't play Nintendo anymore. and I'm not gonna be that weird adult that has a Nintendo channel because I just think it's kind of creepy and shit. But I'm not buying it. And have either of you guys played it?
No, sir.
No, I don't even have a Switch, so nope.
I didn't really like Breath of the Wild that much, to be honest with you. So jumping into this one looks pretty much like more of the same copy and paste, but yada, 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 Game of the Year, revolutionary, all that sort of shit. But it is what it is, man. Glad people are enjoying it, but I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to knock anybody for enjoying what they enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not for me. I just can't. I don't know, man. Nintendo games lost their luster for me after I turned like 18.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I had a Switch, I would definitely have it. Like, there's no doubt about that. But it's like
I may pick it up eventually, dabble. Not like I said I hated it. It's just not one of those games that, like, I like the older Zelda stuff than this
Same.
stuff. Same thing. Like I've said this a billion times before. The whole stamina weapon breaking system really drives me absolutely bonkers because it was never in any of the other games, and now you do it for what? To change up the gameplay mechanics, which is fine. Some people love it, but for me, that's one of the turnoffs.
Yeah, every game's got it too. Even Dead Island 2.
Yeah.
Your weapons would break. And that really annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah. Especially if you don't have a good inventory and you got to go looking around for shit and you're right in the heat of the battle, you know what I mean? You're like, oh.
Exactly. And they put it in every game. I think that started with Far Cry 2. Remember, even your guns would break.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's when they started all that. But yeah, Zelda it's just not my thing, man. I even bought Breath of the Wild. And I played it for about 2 hours and that was it. I tried. But I know it sold like crazy, so because I think today they said it outsold Harry Potter 2-1.
Yeah.
In the
so
UK,
far.
yeah. It's gonna sell
Well,
crazy, man.
I'll just say on that part, it's just I'm glad to see it actually sell well, right? Regardless of whether I really like the game or I don't, because it still tells you something. It tells you that there's value for one, nostalgia. There's value for games that have prevalent quality. Obviously, Tears of the Kingdom is certainly, it helps now that it's a follow-up to one of the most successful Nintendo games of all time, and it's certainly a huge Nintendo Switch title. So, I mean, it's obviously outdoing that one already, outpacing it just after a couple of days out. So, but I'm glad to see that physical is still there. There's a market for it, that people are largely buying physical copies and stuff like that. I know I'm one of those old stalwarts that go kicking and screaming into the future, but that I think is great. I mean, to actually see midnight lineups, it tells you something. It tells you that it can still happen and it's still there if you create a great game, you surround it with great publicity. Nintendo is good about one thing, is Nintendo keeps stuff tight to their chest. They don't reveal a whole lot well before the games come out. They kind of ease it out there, and then you finally get a bit of a dose just before it launches. And you kind of knew, like I said, because it's already got that pre-built up pedigree. It was much like the God of War Ragnarok. You kind of knew right off the bat it was going to be successful. It wasn't like, is it going to score high? It's more like how high. And I hope, by the God, I really hope that Xbox can finally get something that is sort of in that similar vein, where it starts getting this pedigree behind it. It might never happen because the media just fucking hates Xbox. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's nice to see. Sorry to ramble on there, but it's nice to see this stuff is still existing. Good for Nintendo, and good for the players that are getting behind it and buying those physical copies, because the retail business is going down the toilet real quick, man.
Yeah.
And that's $90 plus tax for us too, right?
Yeah,
just like all the new stuff is. But
I'm surrounded by Canadians tonight, aren't I?
Yeah, you're outnumbered, which is probably a first time.
Oh man, one Southerner and two Canadians.
You are the cheese to our fries and gravy. This is like the poutine podcast.
I have got to make that one of these days. I keep seeing people posting pictures of that stuff. It looks interesting.
It's pretty
good.
I'm not a huge
depends
lover
on where
of it,
you get it.
Yeah, and it depends on what time of the night it is,
right?
And how many beers you had and stuff like that.
I don't drink beer, so that could be a problem.
I mean, the chain New York Fries, which I'm assuming is an American franchise that's up here in Canada, they do poutine. Theirs is not bad because their fries are actually pretty good. But there's some really good spots. It all depends on where you get it. But it's basically just big cheese curds, like Costco does poutine up here. I don't know if they do it in the States, but they do it here, and frig, it's amazing.
Shiz, no, you're right. It does sound like a bad joke, doesn't it? One Southern two Canadians walk into a bar. What's up, Crazy Greek? But yeah,
One thing I'll say about Zelda though, I don't know why I didn't expect it, but the amount of people who were just going back and forth on for and against the 30 FPS, I was just like, I don't know, man. Nobody, yeah, I don't know. It's just
The one
people
thing you
spent a
have to
lot of
learn-
time on that, and I was just like, why?
The one thing you have to learn, and I think Noof is going to completely agree with this statement. Twitter is 98% chasing clout.
Oh,
Yes.
it is
And
probably
you've
higher
got
than that.
people, and matter of fact, I could give you a list. I just don't want to go through all the hassle. I can give you a list of some of these people that are on Twitter every day arguing about games that never even play the games they're defending. It's all for clout. Or my favorite, I'm selling my console, man. I don't find no value in that no more. Okay, nobody cares. Okay, it's not an airport. You don't have to, tell everybody, announce your departure. But like some certain person I saw this week, I'm selling my Xbox because I don't know, I just don't have nothing to play on it, and okay, we get it, dude. Not enough people are following you. You've lost your credibility. Nobody likes you. Your wife is divorcing you now. So you are going to cry for clout over a video game console. So that's what a lot of this boils down to.
These people must get paid in different points than I do when I get Twitter likes. Like, I don't get anything. What do they get? I don't know.
But it just amazes me, and that's what a lot of it is. Or it's fuel for their podcast.
Yeah.
So it's clickbait to get people to watch their podcast. And there's nothing like listening to a podcast for 2 hours of people with no personality.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Amen to that. Look, that whole 30 frame stuff, look, we get it. We understand that with the current consoles, that most games, more often than not, that the 30 frames a second should be the anomaly or the exception and not the rule, right? But with saying that, I mean, developers have the reasons why or why not things run a certain way. Now, that could be just hiccups along the way, or it could be the engines that they're using. Who the hell really knows unless you're there on the ground floor with them? The good news is, they're planning to make Redfall 60. Their intent is to bring it. Will it be a little too late? Who the hell knows? But look, the game is on Game Pass. There really is no reason not to go and enjoy it. As Wilmy and you have said, we've been playing Redfall. It actually grows on you. It's not nearly as bad as people want to make it out. We're not saying, it's going to win Game of the Year. It's a revolutionary game. Is it disappointing? 100%. Hell yeah. But does it run pretty damn well? Yes. And I'm even playing it on the Series freaking S of all things. And it runs pretty smooth like butter. And because it runs smooth enough at 30, I am not finding it distracting in the least. Would I prefer it to run at 60? Hell yeah. But I think, 60 is certainly a lot more detrimental when you have to play a first-person shooter, a competitive shooter, versus something that is more campaign oriented. You know what I mean? And this game, the kind of the pacing of the game helps itself. I mean, you're not over inundated with enemies at most points in the game. I mean, they strategically place them out, and the vampire fights can get quite interesting and exciting at times. So, like I said, people do make way too much of this shit. And, let's hope that the 60 frames thing, the patch comes sooner than later. And again, it's just, like I said, don't let little things distract your enjoyment from games.
And Ryan McCaffrey can eat a bag of dicks.
Oh, he's been eating them for years.
Oh, well, we know that. Yeah, that's why he's got all those.
That's why he got the top mustache worn off.
Yeah, that's why he's got all those boxers. That's why he blocked me. He blocked me on Twitter. He blocked my original account and then turned around and blocked my new account.
Yeah. Jeez Louise.
He likes me.
Apparently so.
Well, I mean, when I'm not going to say it on here.
I was going to say, well, you must soon be in the Guinness Book of Records for the most people blocked now, eh?
Well, I'm not anymore, no.
No, right, because a new account.
Yeah, since Twitter suspended my original account.
They took you down. It's like, the memory space on this thing can't hold all his blocked accounts.
You know,
shut him down.
They never did give me an explanation, and I appealed. And it's been over a month and a half, and they've never even contacted me back. So
It's probably no one working in that department anymore.
probably not. But and Shizno says it definitely would feel much better at 60 FPS, and 30 hasn't spoiled my fun. Shizno, I agree. It's not ruined it for me.
Exactly.
Just I find some of the stuff actually humorous, like when some of the guys start sliding across to you. They don't run; they just kind of like glide over to you to shoot at you.
Mhm.
I'll voice, I'll echo that. The 30 FPS hasn't dampened my enjoyment of the game either. So
Because you haven't played it, have you?
correct.
That's right.
Got the act.
Yep.
Well,
I'll say it looked bad to me and it looked like shit to me and this, but I'm not going to trash anyone. If they want to play it, go right ahead, man. It's nothing.
Well,
off
I
my
mean,
back,
it's
so
kind
it's
of in their art style, sort of like Dishonored. It kind of looks like Dishonored in a way.
Yeah, it does. It has,
People are like,
it has
"Oh, it's-"
stylized graphics. You get close enough to the characters, you can see they weren't going for ultra realism. Like everything has a little bit of that kind of a bright, shiny, colorful.
Deathloopy too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just-
So but that's the least of the fault on the game's the graphics here. To be honest with you, like I said, the environments look pretty cool. So you go in the houses, and there's like I said, there's fun to be had here. Like if you don't want to play it, don't play it. But I mean, certainly just play it and give an honest opinion. Don't just, oh, well, it looks like shit. It's supposed to be one of Xbox's big games to tear it to pieces. I mean, I think Phil knows as well as the rest of us. Is it disappointing that the game didn't come out to better critical praise and stuff like that? Absolutely. I mean, they were kind of counting on this one a little bit, and they missed the ball. Par for the course here, seems like lately. But like I said, who knows? I mean, maybe this is a Sea of Thieves scenario that, this game just kind of gets everything it needs and finds a second life down the road. You know what I mean? Who knows?
Well, a lot of games do find that second resurgence, kind of like you just said, Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
To me, I still won't play Sea of Thieves. I played it for 1 hour and I've never went back. It's just not my thing, dude. I don't get into it.
Well, Sea of Thieves, let me tell you, that game has got a learning curve. There is no hand-holding there. There is no tutorial. You basically get in there and you got to figure shit the fuck out. And it's kind of crazy. It's got a big learning curve. And if you don't play Sea of Thieves with the right people, that game is you might as well just put it down, because that's half the battle with Sea of Thieves. But that's one of the nice things about Redfall. You can actually play it with at least 3 friends, and not every game has that. I mean, how many cooperative games does Sony give you? Right? How many cooperative games does Nintendo ever give anybody? Give Xbox a little credit for at least having some variety and doing shit. Yeah, Sackboy, and that's actually pretty good. You can't play the whole game. It's just like certain missions.
Yeah, you can.
You can play all the levels 2-player?
Yeah.
Oh.
And some of the levels are actually you have to have 2 people to do.
Okay, well, leave
Which
it to
game is that?
Sackboy.
Sackboy.
Sackboy's big.
Oh,
adventure.
yeah. Now, dude, Sackboy is fun as hell.
It is. And it
You
looks
slap
great.
each other.
Oh, yeah, because when Sackboy first came out, me, my wife, and 2 of my kids, we'd sit and play that shit for hours. We'd knock each other off different things, I mean, we had fun with it.
Yeah, it's pretty fun. I played it with my oldest all the way through. Pretty good. She actually got the killing blow on the end boss, so she was pretty pumped about that.
But that's one of the very few games you can do that in.
Yeah.
Very few.
Right now, we'll see. I guess Returnal has co-op, but yeah.
Does it?
Yeah.
Huh. I don't know.
Yeah, it got patched in like a year later, I think, or something like that.
The last time I played Returnal, it kept glitching on me. The doors wouldn't open.
Mm-hmm.
And I screamed way too much in that game. And that was before I went into the hospital last year, so I haven't went back to it.
That's one game that I just I read the reviews, I looked at the videos and said, it might be great and everything, and some people are really loving it, but I said that game I know for a fact it's not for me. I'll just be swearing and swearing and swearing at it.
Well, it's Souls-like, which is like the buzzword.
That's all you got to tell me.
Games. That is like the buzzword. It's
Soul-like. That's like comparing a video game to prison sex or something. You know what I mean? Like it's just I'm just having none of that. Thanks.
Yeah, it's like this isn't a positive thing.
Depending on who you are, it could be a positive. But for me, no thanks. I'm out.
I have the platinum, so I kind of liked it. Eventually.
So
I almost gave up on it in like 5 days, but then day 6 hit.
God, I'm trying to find this. Where is it? Where did it go?
So now Days Gone was a really cool game, a game that should have, for all intents and purposes, be still around and getting a sequel.
Days Gone was
you know,
awesome.
Did it
I
have
love Days
issues?
Gone.
Absolutely. But the game itself, I thought, looked really good, had great characters, had some of the best infected zombie, whatever the fuck you want to call them, in any video game I've ever seen. When those hordes came out of those holes at you, Wilmy, I don't know about you, man, but it's one of the first times I went, oh shit.
Yeah,
Like, where's that motorcycle right now?
And the story was, matter of fact, I was talking to somebody about it on Twitter yesterday. The story is incredibly long,
Mm-hmm.
but it to me it was well worth it. I was invested in the story, so, and my wife liked the story, so I would play it and she'd just sit and watch. But I love the story for that game.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a long one, that's for sure.
Mm.
And I'm trying to find this damn article. Where'd it go?
It's one of the few exclusives I never played, actually.
It is it's evidently became commonplace now.
Take my point.
Because we've already made fun of the Brapisms, I call them. Like when people say really stupid shit to try to gain a little bit of Twitter clout.
No.
This has became commonplace for more than just gamers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find this because I could go and share it on the screen, but for some reason Twitter's acting really stupid and doesn't want to share. But a girl actually put up a post. She put up a picture of people lined up outside of GameStop.
Oh, I saw that one retweeted a few times.
Yeah, once or twice. And saying that, these men could be at the gym.
Oh,
they could be doing all this other stuff, but instead they're wasting their time playing a video game. Well,
they're home doing that instead of doing you, I guess, because you're probably just some ugly old bag.
All I got to say is this. Homegirl, they could be at the gym, but, not every gamer's fat.
That's right.
I'm far from being fat. Peniac's not fat. Noose not. Now Bomber,
I'm fat. That's okay. You can call it like you see it. I'm fat, but I'm not. I'm not like you see me on camera. I can stand up and show you. I'm not like, oh my god, this.
Oh, we've seen your breast. Okay, but the thing is, you're.
I mean, I could drop 10 pounds easy, and that'd be.
I'm not Pac-Man round. You know what I mean?
Oh, here it is. They could be at the gym working on business or reading. I'm here to tell you, I've tried reading. I did it when I was in school. I did it all through the military. I'm done with reading. Now I watch the movie or play the game.
Yeah.
Okay. I've read all I need to read.
I know it sounds weird, but I kind of feel the same. Like when I got done university, I'm like, fuck reading. Like it's just homework and I don't want to do it. And yeah, I've read a book here and there, but it's just, I'd rather, like you said, I'd rather play a video game. I'd rather watch TV. Rather do a sport.
The people that are complaining about guys in the line for stuff like that are probably the same people that sit home and watch 10 hours of
Atlanta Housewives or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Watch reality shows or something.
By looking at Homegirl's profile,
yeah,
she's got that whole fake filter thing going on.
Right.
And I get you want guys to go to the gym. Maybe you should stay out of the nail salon and getting your toes did, and maybe have your original hair color.
She probably got those gigantic eyelashes. She looks like Donkey off of Shrek, right?
How did you guess? Yeah. And guess what? Her picture is actually taken from her TikTok picture.
Oh, a TikTok user. How original. Yeah.
And her name is Trad Feminine.
Oh, Christ.
She's a God-fearing woman, escape the matrix and find a good woman. That's her slogan. Lord. That is her slogan. So,
there you go. That's all you need to know there, Wilmy.
But that kind of reminds you of the post near the PS5. You see these thoughts in the post. You want me or the PS5? Well, I'll take the PS5 because it's not as expensive. So, because some of these girls, man, they just do this shit for just to gain a little attention. I wish Fork would use a filter. Distracted. I'm glad you said that. I have not seen Fork in forever.
I gotta say, where did he go? He dropped off the planet here.
No, actually, Fork is he's working now. He's traveling.
Yeah.
He's traveling around from hospital to hospital, state to state.
Oh, wow.
So, and what is up, Lethal?
Lethal Papa!
Yeah, the night that everybody had to go visit their moms. That was weird, wasn't it?
and here we are. Huh?
Well, like I said, I met my mother one time, so. And the
Well,
bad part, it would be
my
weird.
mom is in Florida right now, and well, my stepmom lives with me, and thank God she's one of those stepmothers that you don't feel like putting a bullet in her head. You know what I mean? Thank God.
Oh damn!
Yes.
I don't know, dude. Now we get in that stepmom thing. Ooh, that gets hairy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well,
My
my
dad-
stepmom's
my dad-
pretty cool.
My dad was legitly married 9 times.
Oh my Lord,
9.
Wow.
that's a stepladder mom then.
Dude, I'm not joking. He was married 9 times. That was like probably a record somewhere.
Jesus, your poor father.
Yeah, no shit, right? And we married him. He was 58 years old.
Oh God dang.
Yeah.
You
So-
say a guy learns after 3 times. I don't know. He was just like, I gotta keep trying until we're successful here.
Dude, U-Haul sent him fucking postcards and shit. I mean, that's how popular he was with moving companies. Because he never stayed with one woman very long at all, or they wouldn't stay with him. But you know, I remember looking at my dad one day. I'm going, you know, dude, after the 5th marriage, maybe you're the fucking problem. You know, he didn't want to see it that way.
You're doing something wrong, Dad. You may want to analyze your life about right now.
Yeah, maybe it's the drinking and the assholism that's you know, causing you problems with your marriages. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But what do I know? You know. I've been married to the same woman for 26 years, so maybe it was a him problem.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if you get 5 years with any woman nowadays, that's a huge accomplishment.
right. And I got 26. Matter of fact, our anniversary was 9 days ago.
Ooh,
Congratulations.
nice.
That is
But
awesome.
unlike most people, I didn't have to announce it all over social media to gain clout.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
when I get ready to go gain clout, I'll announce I'm selling all my consoles. I'm selling my Steam Deck.
Wilmy's got a semi parked out back, all these consoles up in the back. Selling all these fuckers. You can take the truck. Let's go.
I'm selling my PCs, my Steam Deck. I'm selling everything, the VRs. Which actually,
Well,
I probably should sell the VRs.
I wish I didn't get rid of my Series X. I'm going to sit here and act like an idiot. But hey, new Phenomics, right? I'm sure I'll get another one. I do have the Series S, and I always said I would never get the Series S. But to be quite honest with you guys, I have to admit I'm really enjoying the Series S. One, it's super compact and amazing from a form and functionality purpose, and it looks great in the bedroom. It actually fits in my freaking stands, which is nice. So yeah, I'll get another X, but I'll probably just wait now to see what kind of bundles come out, or if perhaps the price actually ever drops or something like that. So we'll just wait a little while. But yeah,
Actually, I've got one from in our bedroom, and it's mounted behind the TV on the wall. A little
Can't
Series
even
S.
see it. Can't
Yeah.
even see it, eh?
Yes, yeah.
sir.
Yeah, and
that's crazy
dude,
how small that thing is.
it works very well. So
Mhm.
my wife plays on that one. So
Yeah.
because we've got one of those fancy beds, you know, that you can maneuver around and shit. It lifts and all that.
Mhm.
So she can prop herself up and sit there on the bed, you know, and
You
chill out and
can.
play.
Each side has its own ups
Yeah.
and downs. Ooh.
Yeah.
damn.
So, you know, she can just
Yes,
lift her
sir.
back up and sit there on the bed, you know, and play whatever she wants.
So the Lethal Pop in the chat, I know you've given me grief for years because I was the big physical game guy. Well, here we are, man. I'm finally coming around, dude. I'm finally just having to accept that the industry is changing, and Noof Nukem is going to have to change alongside with it. It might be a little bit late to the party, but never late to the show. Let's go.
And Distracted, you're not too far off on that one, dude. Because I actually met a girl one day that came up to me and told me she was my half sister.
You said,
And
where's
look-
the other half?
Well, I mean, she goes, "Is your dad such and such?" I'm like, "Yeah, why?" She goes, "Oh my God, we're family." I'm like, "Yeah, okay. Well, it's been good meeting you." So yeah, that's kind of how that went down.
Bye.
But when you have a dad that's been married nine times, yeah, there's a lot of weird shit happens. So that's why before I ever got married, I moved to a whole other state. You'll think about that one for a second.
Well, you're from the South, so it's probably a safe thing to do.
But I'm not from Alabama. That's bomber. So I'm not from Alabama.
Yeah.
So there's really not a whole lot to talk about. So, gentlemen, throw out another topic. Noof, go ahead. Throw us out something.
Oh, throw you out of topic. Oh, geez. I'm a little out of the
Yeah.
loop there lately.
Well, there ain't been a lot of loop to be into,
Yeah, it's
actually.
been pretty tame this week. I mean, aside from Zelda.
What? There's no ABK news?
Oh,
Some
God,
people
yeah.
are trying to make it newsworthy again.
The EU is supposedly going to approve the deal this week.
Mhm.
So that
Mhm.
means Brap is sitting as we speak, trying to get his concession speech written for Twitter.
Hmm.
Because he's going to try to figure out how this is wrong and how it's going to bankrupt all of Europe. Because I mean, let's face it, right? The UK didn't approve it because they needed that $100 million to throw for that big-eared fucker they just made king. You know, that's what, $100 million for this dude. You know, for his big celebration to become king.
Yeah.
Yay, the fucker's 78 years old. He finally got a fucking job.
Yeah, really right.
Congrats,
Attaboy.
bitch.
Attaboy, Chucky.
Congrats.
Attaboy.
You finally got a job that nobody even respects.
Like, it's weird because here, like, we've had like Lizzie too our entire lives as, you know, the monarchy, the head of state, and all that crap.
Mhm.
And Noof, do you know anyone who gives a flying fuck about Charles? I don't.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
No, I couldn't.
No,
I couldn't
right?
give a shit. Like when he got coronated, I wasn't sitting there watching.
Yeah,
I was
and
like, you know
like
what?
I knew
A
tons of
30-second
people
piece
who
on
like
the news is good enough for me. I
Yeah.
don't need to sit there and like maybe they take that shit real seriously over in the UK,
the
but
old muck.
for here, for me, it's just like he's some rich
Fuck off.
pompous twat that I'll never know. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
speaking of that, I
I'm-
forgot they're on your money and all that stuff, aren't they?
yeah, there are
They're already planning to put Charles now on our new bills and shit and all that kind of stuff. So
I mean,
yeah,
as
fabulous.
far as how closely tied we are still, it's basically they're like our in case of emergency break glass
Mhm.
situation, which
Oh,
will never
you're
happen.
so fucked.
No, it'll never happen. But yeah, it's like, you know, if they're ever there when we need that shit, then England's there, you know, right?
Right.
But yeah, but I had, you know, I knew people who were like devastated when Elizabeth died and all this stuff, but no one gives a fuck about Charles, man. And good, rightfully so. Like, who gives a shit? Just fuck off. Your own son doesn't even give a fuck about you. So.
I mean, it's an institution that really carries no weight other than titles. This isn't like
But
the
it
16th
does
century.
support a lot of pedophiles, just like the American government does.
Shit.
So
Inbreeding, all that good stuff.
Yeah. They're gonna come up with a new show. It's not the X-Files anymore. It's the pedophiles.
yeah, I mean,
Do.
dude, politicians are the worst thing on the planet. I don't give a damn what country you're in.
That is true. They're all cut with the same fucking brush. They all go in with great intentions and come out as crooked as a fucking bent nail. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But since we're on the topic of we were talking about the deal,
Mhm.
do you guys think the EU approving this whole thing is going to matter to anybody?
I mean, the more approvals it gets, I mean, you gotta say to yourself, well, you know, there's got to be something to it. You know what I mean? Like, if there's more people that are approving than not, so it just comes down to you know, if 8 out of 10 people approve it, what's wrong with the other 2? You know what I mean? There's got to be something to look at there. And at this point in time, I'm to the point where I could care less either way. I mean, there's probably benefits of the deal not happening. There's probably a ton more that would if it went ahead. But I'm sure, like I said, we're all getting pretty exhausted from talking about it. I'm sure even the Xbox brass is pretty much, you know, pretty much done with it. It's in the hands of the lawyers now and the naysayers or whatever else. And, you know, but it's so funny because during this whole process of them going against Xbox, here's Sony out there money-hatting the living Jesus out of just about everything. You know, and just like, you don't see a problem with that, guys. That these guys are paying money to keep shit over from Japan off of Xbox entirely. They're dominating just about every other market, but you see a problem with Xbox about a cloud service that hasn't even been overly successful and might never be hugely successful just because they have a leg up.
I think people are getting tired of subscriptions at this point.
Yeah.
Because, dude, everything has a subscription service attached to it now.
Mm-hmm.
Every fucking thing. And the bad part, all these TV channels now are coming up with their own separate streaming services.
Yes.
Man, they could suck a dick.
Who the fuck
I
is
have
going to pay $15 a month to watch MTV?
Right. Exactly.
Who
I haven't
watches
watched
MTV
MTV since they
anyway?
quit. I haven't watched MTV since they quit playing music videos.
That's true.
And
It's
I
a long
think that was
time
about
ago.
88, 89.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we pay for Netflix and we pay for Disney because, you know, kids. Prime Video is just wrapped into having a Prime sub, so I don't even count that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
Prime dude's gotten to be pure shit.
Piggyback Crave off the in-laws, but as far as like, ooh, and I have Apple TV right now just for like Ted Lasso and maybe something else, but like that's not something I keep annually. And like Paramount Plus, get the fuck out of here.
I do have
NBC
Paramount.
Plus, and
I do have
don't know.
Paramount because I got it for like
Mhm.
$60 a year.
I don't even think we can get it here. Can we?
Well,
Noof, do you know?
Yes.
Paramount Plus? Yeah, we can. Okay.
Yeah, it's you can get it on your Roku's. I don't know if it's on anything else, but I have it on the Roku. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't
Well,
subscribe. I only subscribe to Amazon Prime. That's the only one I have right now,
Mhm.
and that's mostly because with my Prime subscription, I get like the free 2-day delivery on shit. Other than that, I probably wouldn't have that either.
well, I think I've got all of them. We got Discovery, but it goes through my Verizon account. So, and then I've got Paramount because my grandson loves watching SpongeBob. When he's here, it's SpongeBob. And we do have Peacock because they actually show a lot of new movies on Peacock that come out on the screen. So we do have almost all of them. But you hit that point where you're just like, wow.
Well, it starts to add up. You know, years ago that was the big complaint is people got tired of cable because one, you couldn't watch what you wanted to watch. You had to get all these packages, and it started adding up. And you're like, man, I'm paying so much money for stuff I never use. And we're kind of right back in that situation. The difference is now you got 40 different accounts paying $10 and $12 and $15. And then at the end of the day, you know, you 10 or 12 accounts. Now you're 120, 150, you know, almost $200 in, and people aren't batting an eye. And you just kind of got it like, you know, and for me, I like subscription card models. Like if at least I'm going to do it, I just like get a card, pay for it up front, and just have it done with and over with. Cause I just never trust or I hate, like, you know, when you have the auto ship, because I can never keep track of it half the time. And all of a sudden you got shit coming in and shit coming out. And, you know, fuck, even if you're like $2 less in your account and they fucking try to take it out, then all of a sudden you owe a fucking $40 friggin' fee to your bank for insufficient funds and shit. You know, all those little things.
But all of them do have a subscription service. And now if you watch, a lot of them are losing channels because those channels are sitting back going, hey, let's make our own streaming service now.
Yeah.
So, you know, people are getting tired of doing them. And I think that's going to hurt a lot of these things. But with gaming, at least it's different because you don't see the same thing over and over and over. You know, there is new stuff added, unlike some of these streaming services. They get to where they're kind of shitty after a while when they don't add anything new.
Well, I think what's going to happen for some of these services, they may have to consider like teaming up and making some kind of a user bundle that's cheaper. Because eventually people are just going to unsubscribe because they're paying so much money. So maybe they'll go to the cable companies and they'll figure out a way to, well, you know, if you get 2 or 3 in this package, it cuts down the cost. So at least you got people getting some money than no money. You know what I mean? And they might have to go something like that route. If they're friendly enough with each other, it's better to have, like I said, user numbers and subscribers and constantly see your analytics going down the toilet. And then you got to explain that shit to your CEOs and all that sort of stuff too. So.
But I do want to break tradition here just for a second because there is one thing I want to talk about. So we'll start it off this way. Okay, this has nothing to do with gaming. If you have, has anybody in the chat watched Evil Dead Rise? Anybody in the chat?
Sounds like a no.
I'm guessing no. If you have not watched Evil Dead Rise, watch it. We watched it Wednesday night. It doesn't have the same humor as Bruce Campbell, but it's still really good.
I'll tell you, to be honest, I didn't expect there to be any humor in that movie based on the
There,
trailers.
they do hint back.
Okay.
There's a lot of some of the lines from the original movies, and they're like the chainsaw. I was upset that we didn't get to see the car because you did see the car in the remake in 2015. But
Yeah, that one was pretty good.
yeah, oh, that one was great too. But this one, I mean, you had the gore, you had the crazy ass demons. I thought it was really good. It's in a centralized location, kind of. But honestly, the original was you're in the cabin. So
Available digitally. Nice.
yeah, I bought it on my Xbox. I think Tuesday it came available. But
Nice.
really good movie. I was kind of iffy because I knew there was no Bruce, but I was actually pleasantly surprised. I really enjoyed the fuck out of it.
I'll definitely watch it.
And there was another movie we watched called the Pope's Exorcist. It was interesting in a weird sort of way. Yeah, it take the Exorcist movie from 1974, water it down, and add a lot of fluff content to it, and there's your movie.
Okay, so
what's that Exorcist movie, that one that just came out that has Russell Crowe as the priest?
The Pope's Exorcist.
The Pope's Exorcist.
Oh, that's the one. Okay, gotcha. Okay, I wasn't quite sure what the name was.
It's not horrible, so to speak, but it's different. At least the effects are good. Because, and I think it's funny, every demon now or every person possessed in a movie does this weird backward spider crawl shit. Have you guys ever noticed that? They all do it now in these movies.
It wasn't double jointed until they got possessed.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, I wish I could do some of that shit they do. Holy shit.
No doubt, eh? Your sex life would be extremely interesting.
No shit.
Turn around and look at me when you're backwards.
Right? Your wife sitting in the corner holding up cards with a number 10 on them. But I mean, the movie's not terrible. It does go into a lot of detail that I don't know is actually valid. But I mean, it was okay. I would recommend waiting for it to hit, like a rental service or streaming. So I actually bought it, but it still wasn't as good as Evil Dead Rise.
I haven't watched a lot of those movies lately, but I will say I did watch The Terrifier 2 not too long ago. My God.
Oh, that was great. I love Arthur the Clown.
Yeah, I know. There's something about him. I don't care if the movies are bad, but there's just something absolutely like fascinating and compelling with that character. I mean, the whole sitting down in the laundromat reading the paper with his pants off was so fucking hilarious.
Dude, that movie, it was a little bit long, but it was still good.
Yeah, they come up with some crazy shit in those movies, man. Like, yeah.
I like the original too, where he's riding around on a tricycle.
Oh, absolutely.
He's basically making fun of Saw.
Yeah.
He's making fun of Billy on the tricycle from Saw.
Yeah.
And Distracted. Beetlejuice 2, I would not hold my breath. That has been a rumor. God, that rumor's been going around for years. It may be real now, but I know it.
I think they just hired Willem Dafoe. Yeah, I think they got Willem Dafoe, and I forget who else is coming back with Michael Keaton.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it may actually happen this time because I know it's been a rumor for ages.
Well, he's coming back and reprising Batman, so anything's freaking possible. I mean, at least in Beetlejuice, he gets to wear makeup on his face, so you can never really tell how old he is. Beetlejuice doesn't age, but Batman's looking a little wrinklier than we remember. But yeah, I can't wait to see that new Flash movie.
Oh yeah, Rat Bastard. That was awesome, dude. That whole movie, and that was definitely one of the best parts. Definitely. Oh, a Twister 2.
Yeah, really? I heard about that one. Yeah.
Is that going to have what's her name? Oh God, what was Meg Ryan? Hunt? Oh, Helen Hunt.
Mm-hmm. Well, we obviously it's not going to have Bill Paxton, that's for sure.
I saw some pictures of Helen Hunt. It looked like that tornado landed on her.
His bones are floating around in the tornado.
Oh. Yeah. You're hurting my feelings, dude. That's why I'm not celebrating Mother's Day with my mom.
No.
Well,
what's his name was in? He was in that movie before he even became like a big name actor as Philip Seymour Hoffman. That's crazy. You know, that's one of those like those movies. You know, when you go back and you watch them when they first come out, and then years later those actors move on and become sort of more like household names, and you go back and go, shit, that guy was in that fucking movie. You know, like Bill Paxton. Like one of his first movies, he played one of the thugs at the phone booth in the original Terminator movie. You know, when he comes out nice and
Is he the one who got the fist through his chest, or is he just another guy? Was he?
No, he was the other guy.
Okay,
kind of like Johnny Depp. You know, Johnny Depp. His first movie was the original Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's right.
He got sucked into a waterbed just to have Amber Heard shit in his bed years later. I mean, it's all, you know, it all comes back around to
comes full circle, man.
Yeah. No, it's just crazy how like you know those little things. You know, I always like that. Now I watch a lot of movies now and I look back at those actors and go, well, where they were when they started. You know.
And Kevin Bacon, his first role was Friday the 13th.
Mm-hmm.
And now Kevin Bacon's been in just about every fucking thing, I think. Yeah, because he's one of the guys that got a machete to his spine.
I want to know why nobody's come up with a Kevin Bacon burger yet.
Right? Why not? They got Wahlburgers.
Let's give Kevin Bacon an idea. He starts his own restaurant. Yeah, Kevin Bacon Burgers.
Might as well.
And he puts one on the plate and you can't see it. It's called the Invisible Burger because when he played
the Invisible Man.
Yeah. The Hollow Man.
The Hollow Man, yeah. It's the Hollow Burger. You can't see it, but it's there.
Oh, you're talking about like North Korean cuisine, right?
Pretty much.
Now that was mean.
One piece.
And some people won't get that joke. But speaking of Hollow Man, I did see a thing today. My dear friend that I love so well, Ryan McCaffrey, in case you guys missed the beginning of the podcast, he was fussing that Xbox really had no exclusives and they need to sign some of these deals for exclusivity on third-party games. I'm old enough to remember, along with Pepperidge Farms, that they did that for a game called Tomb Raider. And did Ryan McCaffrey not bitch and complain about Tomb Raider?
Well, a lot of people did, yeah. Oh, they got it for like a whole year? What the hell?
Yeah, and he actually stopped playing with his boxer's dick for 5 minutes to complain. And it really was interesting because he's talking about it now, but yet he was bitching when Xbox was doing it.
Interesting.
So, like I said, dude, I'm old enough to remember, just like Pepperidge Farms. So he complained about that, was telling people to boycott the game, not watch the movie. And I mean, come on, nobody watched the movie because it was good. They watched it because Angelina Jolie played in it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and see, Shizno remembers. That was his exact words too, Shizno. He said it was bad for the industry.
So was this back at IGN before the people who speak and talk at IGN had obvious allegiances to sides, or was he just being a neutral at the time?
Oh, dude, he's never.
I don't know. I don't remember that.
He's never been a neutral on anything.
He's a guy that's, you know, he's smart enough, but his stuff goes with the wind too. Like, you know what I mean?
He should work for Kotaku.
Yeah. One day he's just like, oh, he's coming around again, and the next day he's just like, yeah, Xbox, you know.
Well, you can't honestly say, and like I said, dude, I don't really give a shit one way or the other. I play everything, but I mean, it is it's obvious to a large extent that they do have a bias towards poor Xbox sometimes. Now, granted, you know, they really have
Ryan McCaffrey and Destin? No, I'm kidding.
Destin?
Yeah.
But now they do have there is a few people that has a hard on for it, and it's kind of obvious they can't do anything right. Which, needless to say, you know, they've not done a whole lot right this year so far.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess you could say there's always hope.
Well, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If this ABK deal falls through, I think this is the perfect time for Xbox to just say, to just honestly just come out and just say, fuck it. We're going to money hat everything now, because we've seen we've seen the documents, we've seen what Sony's been up to. I'd say, you know what? Let's play ball. We're gonna do things our own way now. We're tired of playing nice guy. We're tired of giving you offers and putting shit out there and getting slapped for it. So if I was Xbox, yeah, enough of this, enough of the nice guy act now. I would start playing dirty. I'd start really, like I said, use that clout, use that money, and start making some deals that makes you might get people bitching at you, but I swear to God, you're also going to you're going to grow your own portfolio, because your Xbox fans are going to are definitely going to be singing the praises and cheering from the rooftops. And like I said, if Sony can do it, you can do it too. I'm sorry, it's all fair in love and war, as they say.
Yeah, in
I
business,
just think they should like focus on your first party studios, man.
Well, that too.
Like
they'll think some money back to them,
that should
but
be first, not a third party deal for a game for a year. Like, make your first party studios like the best they can be.
But that's where it gets
let's
tricky,
be honest,
because they're pumping money into them now, and they're still falling short of the waymark. So this is
then
where
someone's doing something
that
very
question
wrong
about
in
the
that
management
organization.
of the studios is not working properly. You know what I mean? And so that's something they got. Yeah, that's the first. You got to take care of their own house first, and then worry about the rest. I mean, they got a franchise that. They got to figure what they're going to do with, and that's Halo. You know what I mean? Well, some people might Halo's fine. It's in good hands. Like, I don't know. I beg to differ otherwise. I mean, here we are now. Halo Infinite's been out, and I don't really see a whole lot of talk now or anything about it. And, it's almost come out and been forgotten, after all that time. Like,
I still play
exactly, and I still play it from time to time too. I have no issues with it for the most part, but like, they still got to figure out, where do they take this franchise? How do they restore it, or how does it get build back the fan base, or how do you restore faith with the fans in this franchise? What do you do? Should 343 just move on to something else and you bring someone else in, or what do you do here, right?
I think movies and video games are a lot alike, because you know how most movies, after you watch so many of them, they lose that. They just lose that feeling. Like, I'm a big horror fanatic. Everybody knows. The first Friday the 13th, I loved it. The first 3 or 4. When they started getting up to 8, and then Jason going into space, I quit even watching, because I'm sitting back going, who the fuck? Really?
Horror had a really, really dark time.
Yeah.
In the time between, I don't know, but whenever the first Scream came out, and that kind of really invigorated that portion of the horror scene again, like, horror was in a bad spot for a while.
And I think video games are sort of the same, though. You can't keep pulling them back over and over and over.
And it's like, for every amazing horror movie, there are 50 just shitty ones, right?
Oh, there's more than that.
Yeah, but so I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's tough, but I don't know what Halo needs. I played it when it came out and played the first mission of the campaign. I was like, I don't care.
Like what happens at this point too now? If Fable comes out, and Fable isn't all that in a bag of chips. You know what I mean?
I hope it is, because that's like, at some point they got to throw it. Menu that I want.
At some point, one of the darts are thrown at the walls got to stick, right?
You know what I mean? I mean, you would think
you got these big pedigree studios behind it. They've got plenty of ample time to make something. So at some point, you got to think that something's going to come out and kind of blow our minds. Like, oh wow, like that's even better than we thought. And not be kind of the opposite, where that's far disappointing. Now I think that's partly on some of us. Because a lot of times we build expectations that are unrealistic, and we think that stuff is going to be something that it's not. It's like that's probably like the good thing for Tears of the Kingdom, right? Because the game basically is just built off the Breath of the Wild, so it's kind of like you didn't really have to expect much, because I think for most people they knew what they were going to get with this game.
True.
Dong!
He just hit his head on something.
That was a great sound effect.
That's my metal Yeti bouncing off the metal screen on my.
Wow.
That was a great sound effect. Dong! Oh, shit. Yeah.
I thought he was going for feng shui or some shit.
That's the sound effect you got to use when you're talking about stupid people.
There's a lot of those.
You'll be using it all night.
Well, see, that's kind of like Gears of War. Where are they going to go if they make a next one?
Well, they gotta. I don't know. They kind of got to end this current arc, I think, because I don't think people are really digging it like they used to. And like I said, even if they got to make a different game in between, like go back and do a prequel kind of thing, go back to the Pendulum War stories before the actual Emergence Day, and bring back the characters we know and love, and something like that. But I think the thing is, you got to make it look amazing. You got to make it gritty again. And I've said this, and I'll say this over and over again. I know it's falling on deaf ears, but franchises are heading in the wrong direction when they start building multiplayer, for example, and they start adding weird shit, right? Like, we don't need clown costumes and fucking Gears. You don't need pink weapons and Gears. Like, when you start doing that, what it tells me is you're not even catering to the people that built your game. Because remember, the first couple of Gears, there was none of that crap. There was none of that in Gears of War. There was none of it in Gears of War 2. I don't even know if there was much stuff like that in Gears of War 3.
It started in Gears 3.
Started in Gears 3, and then it was 4, and then it just started getting wilder and wilder and wilder, and then you start going, oh wait, so this is this Gears of War? Is it Fortnite? You know what I mean?
So you weren't
what
a fan
are you doing?
of the kitty ears in Halo Infinite,
right?
No, I'm not a fan of them.
Exactly, right? Like, well, that's a great point. I get it. It sells with a lot of people to make some money, and I guess, like I said, at the end of the day, is money talks, bullshit walks, but. You still got to remember that you have a core audience that builds these things, that got you to where you're going. And to me, it's almost insulting. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, if you want to do that shit, build a whole new game with that shit in it. Don't start catering to those crowd with your old established games, is what I'm saying. Build something from the ground up and put all your pink weapons and put all your friggin' rainbow hats and whatever else you want to put in there, but just leave it away from established franchises that were built by the core Xbox gamer. That sort of thing.
Now, see, I agree with you on the Gears of War. If you brought back like the original atmosphere with the Krail, the gritty, the dark, and the creepy, I'd be on board. But, to sit here and shoot bots over and over and over just didn't thrill me at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I only played the first one, but that was like, for me anyway, that was like a borderline horror game.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? And But,
well, it was
when
pacing,
Marcus breaks when he breaks out of the prison, that was amazing, dude. And the different areas you had to move through, and you had to stay in the light or you get eaten. That's what made it so good.
Yeah, and it felt heavy. It felt visceral, and then they just started getting away from that. Started coming up with some weird-ass weapons, too. I'm sorry, but I can't stand that drop shot. I think that's one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life. People use it in the friggin' multiplayer all the time, and it drives me absolutely bonkers. One, I find it's hard to use, and two, it's just so, stupid. I don't know, this laser that flies across over your head and it's just trying to drop something on your head. I don't know, it's kind of weird.
It's kind of like the Coyote and the Roadrunner, right? Just a high-tech version.
Yeah. Well, they made a sawed-off shotgun, though, and everybody complained because, it's so OP. Yeah, but you got to be literally like a foot away from someone to kill anyone with it.
Well, the original had a shotgun in it, too, so.
Yeah, the Gnasher, and the Gnasher was pretty powerful, but then that was a Gears 3. They did that sawed-off with the two bullets. Yep. And it was an instant kill, and I got why people hated it, because if you went up and you missed someone with your Gnasher and they hit you at all with that thing, you were done. But that was the thing. It was easy to avoid it. You just had to stay at range, and nobody goes hitting shit with it.
And you know what? You know what brings a lot of that about?
Yeah.
Streamers. Because streamers get mad if they're playing a game, if they're streaming a game and they don't know everybody in that game, they can't control it.
Mm-hmm.
They get upset when they die. So they bitch and they complain. So
poor guys.
That's like when I was streaming Call of Duty. And a guy he was bitching at me and yelling at me because I kept shooting him. And I'm like, dude, quit coming the same fucking direction. Quit doing the same thing over and over. That's the very definition of insanity.
Yeah.
You do the same thing over and over and expecting a different result.
Yes. There's a sniper. He's downrange in the center. Stay out of the center of the map. Guy runs back in.
Dude, he did it 12 times, Noof. He came the same direction around the same side of the building 12 different times thinking I was not going to see him.
Mm-hmm.
And I just knew, I'm sitting back laughing going, there's no way this fucker's going to come back. But he did.
Oh, there he is. I can't believe it.
He kept coming the same direction thinking he's going to shoot me from that distance with a fucking submachine gun.
By the time it happened the 8th time, you were already pre-shooting because you knew where he's going to come from.
Pretty much, yeah. I was just watching. I'm like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to switch to a thermal scope and just wait for him to peek his head around the corner.
Just close your eyes. Watch this, everybody.
Same direction. He's coming again.
I mean, he just kept doing it over and over and over. And like recently on Modern Warfare 2, I can't remember the name of the map. You know, where you got the big giant billboards and all that stuff. Al Jazeera, maybe that's no, I can't remember the name of the map. But I was sitting at the top of one of these billboards. I sniped 38 people and did not move once.
Wow.
And they still kept coming towards me, thinking they were going to take me down.
Somewhere.
Right? But it was just funny, man, to watch because they just kept coming in that direction, or they would try to sneak around the corner. And I'm like, dude, I can see everything on the map.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's funny. And those are the ones that complain. But in an online shooter, that's what you're supposed to do. You're not there to shake hands and make friends. You're there to shoot people. And it's kind of illegal to do that in the real world. The law kind of frowns on it.
Yeah.
So you do it in a video game, it's okay. Well, it's not even okay in a video game because somebody cries about it.
I was going to say.
So
yeah, crazy.
But that's where a lot of that comes from because even I got into a game. What's the horror game? It's a 1 versus 5. Shit, it's really popular.
Death by Daylight.
That's it. Death by Daylight. Yeah. I jumped into a match one day.
I don't know.
Yeah, Dead by Daylight. I jumped into a match one afternoon. Didn't know the people. It was a random join, and I kept killing the people. You know, I kept putting them on the hooks and killing them. That's what you're supposed to do. That's the purpose of the game. And next thing I know, I get this message from somebody in the game. It was a lady streamer. I'm going to report you for griefing.
Griefing?
What the fuck is griefing? And I text back to her on the message. What is griefing? It's like you're waiting on us. Yeah, exactly. I'm playing the killer. I'm waiting to kill you. What do you? And she goes, well, I'm streaming this, and it's, people are making fun of me. Cut your stream.
I'm reporting you for being a dumbass. There you go. Where's that option?
Cut your stream. I'm like, but I'm sorry. But that's the point. That's what I'm supposed to do. I'm playing the killer, so I'm going to kill you. I was playing as Freddy Krueger. That didn't help matters. I really wanted to kill her then. But it's funny, man, because, the streamers get groups of people in there that they know. A lot of them do. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. And evidently, I was the oddball in her match that she couldn't control. So she was upset.
Right. So it's ruining the flow of her stream, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, look, she died again by the same guy in the same area.
She ran around and she got put on the hook.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm just not so good. Oh, you guys,
that was the funny part.
That like, share, and subscribe, and make sure that you follow my OnlyFans
and my Instagram
and my TikTok. Oh.
And that's the funny part, though, is like, you really want me to feel bad for you? I mean, we're playing a game, lady. That's what we're supposed to be doing.
That's right.
But yeah, people just amaze me, dude. And I think that's where a lot of games go bad too. Is you have a small minority of people that complain about everything. And it is everything. They're never happy. And I think a lot of them get more traction than the people that don't complain. Because the people that are happy don't talk as much about it. So a lot of these developers and game creators sit back and see all this negativity. So I think they tend to cater to them a little bit more.
Right.
Which sucks for a lot of us. But that's the way it is. And it's really shitty for a lot of us.
Yeah, the YouTube space and stuff like that is getting pretty crazy these days. Just there's so many flags for so many freaking things now. It's nuts.
Oh yeah, trust me, we know. We know for a fact.
You're not encouraging people to stick around on your platform. It's going to drive people to something else eventually. But it's just the luster of YouTube is that it's such a big platform, right? It's probably the biggest sort of media platform they have now. Like, it's grown exponentially. So
And also, YouTube will find a way to fuck you. You may not realize it when you start off, but they will eventually get you at some point, like they did us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they hit us for over a month saying that we were reusing content, and they never would give me an explanation of what that meant. And when I Googled it, it said that we were putting like TV shows on YouTube to watch. And I'm like, we've never done that. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Wow.
But it was some strange shit.
Yeah, no doubt.
So then we had to reapply for monetization again, and they approved it again. I was like, wow, that was kind of strange. But I think a lot of people believe they're going to make a fortune or a living off doing streaming. I think that time's pretty much over unless you just have something, I don't know, something entirely different to put online.
Yeah.
Because there's millions of people that do that shit every day, and not everybody's going to make a living doing it.
Well, I've always said, like, for me, I've never gotten into this for the money or notoriety or anything like that. But, you know, it would be nice to make enough as a, you know, I'm not going to get up and quit my job tomorrow, but it would be nice to have enough income coming into sort of a secondary income, so to speak, right? So, but like I said, it takes a lot to get to that point. It takes more than anything. It takes a massive amount of consistency, and you know, and it's not always great content, because we see lots of great content creators out there that get next to no traction, and then we see a lot of them that just get a ton of traction because, like, again, they're in more places than a hooker's hands. You know what I mean? But it's all part of it. You just got to be consistent, and you know, so to each their own. Like I said, I applaud anybody that can do it and can get where they want to go. But like I said, comes easy for some, comes harder for others, and there's a lot of factors that got to fall in place, and you know, that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, it definitely takes consistency, and I don't know, man. Just like you said a minute ago, everything's flagged, and it's just, I don't know. If you're like me, I don't have the time or the desire to make videos. I just can't do it. I've sat down and made a few, and for me, it takes so long to do.
Yeah.
I don't have that kind of free time. I just don't have it.
Exactly. And you know yourself, even when you're not creating videos, but you're just podcasting, and you've been on numerous ones, Wilmy, when you've been basically on a podcast most of the week. You've done 4 or 5 shows. And, you know, that gets exhausting too. Like, there's only so much that you can say about a certain topic. And by the time you've hit your 3rd or 4th show and you're kind of bringing up the same stuff again, you just kind of lose a little bit of that gumption. You know what I mean? You're just kind of like, oh my God. And how do guys do this so often? It's like, you know, I guess that's one reason it's good to talk about multi-platform stuff, because at least you can use various angles. If you're kind of just like a centric show to Xbox centric or PlayStation, Nintendo, you know, you're kind of narrowed into a corner. That sort of thing. But you know what that's like, though, just when you kind of almost spread yourself too thin, and then you just kind of get worn out and you're like, you know what, I need a break.
And see, that hit me last year. Because I'm gonna be honest, after I got out of the hospital, I wasn't sure I was gonna bring the podcast back at all. I really didn't think I wanted to do it anymore. But, you know, as I started to heal and got a little bit better, my wife actually said, hey, you know, you have fun doing it, just try it again. So I don't know, man. It's just like, it's a constant grind. Yeah. But the thing is, we just do it for the fun of it.
And there's momentum swings too. And like, you've gone through the same thing that I've kind of gone through numerous times, where you've had to kind of reinvent yourself a little bit, and you've gone through different panels and different people. And sometimes you just find this right mold, and and it feels like everything's clicking. And other times it's just like, you feel like a kick in the guts, you know, like people leave, and you can't control that stuff. But, you know, like I can tell you, and I never shied away from it. So when Mag and Titan both left Gaming After Dark, it was a huge blow for me, because we really had something going there. We had this chemistry. We had a lot of fun. And when both guys stepped away, it was just like, I don't know if I want to do this, because, you know, it's you can't find that every day with just anybody.
Right. You know? Exactly. And like with us, you know, we went off the air pretty much for almost a year. You know, last year when I got sick, I couldn't podcast. I did a couple of Twitter spaces, and that was even hard for me to do. But we lost a lot of our audience, and people that claim to be friends of mine would jump into my time slot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not talking about Boom. They just jumped right in like, hey,
Mm-hmm.
we're just going to go right in here. Wilmie's out sick. Let's just go ahead and do this, 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 and this.
Mm-hmm.
But we lost a lot of our audience. So it is what it is.
Yeah.
I really don't care.
I moved mine over to Monday night, and I'm picking a 7 p.m. Mountain Time, 9 p.m. Eastern this time, and that was my exact thoughts. I don't care. I don't even care who's in there now at this point, because no one gave a shit about when I did my stuff. So I said, I'm sorry. I'm just serving up the same favor. I'm giving you the same fucking the courtesy you gave me, right? For some people that kind of jumped on my stuff. So, although I tried to keep it later. That was one thing, but I'm trying to get it earlier because, man, that was it's a rough time, especially for people on the East Coast.
Oh, wow, he's got a camera.
Yay. Well, it's working, sort of.
Yeah, sort
of. Is that the one and only Dreadpool?
What's going on, everyone?
Well, Dreadbeard.
Yeah.
He's got the wall in behind
and I'm also
the solitary wall.
I'm also see-through.
Oh, my God.
Dude, you have a hole in your chest.
He's showing off his huge brick.
What?
So, good morning.
I did not expect to see you, Dread. I thought you were still trying to pick up the vehicle or something.
Dude, yeah, that
long story.
Yeah. At least it's not coming out of my pocket.
There you go.
Let's put it that way.
That's
of course.
Part.
And the camera froze again. And I switched my wife's face onto my. This is why I'm not going on camera with this stupid thing. This is why I haven't been on camera in how long? Because of this stupid freaking camera.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. The reason I'm not using cameras as much now, I kept having I got to the point where I was actually having people recognize me. And I was like, that's not cool. So there's a lot more cool. See, I have a couple of local pages on Facebook, and I was putting the podcast on there. So local people were seeing me. And I also own a business here locally.
Right.
So I didn't want my face associated with, you know what I'm saying? Which was always the one thing I was trying to avoid. So, but I quit putting it on local pages. And that's probably a smart move on my behalf as well. Yeah. So, because we don't broadcast it to as many places now. I think I'm doing 4 destinations right now. So, and before somebody asked, on Rumble, I'm not doing it live there because if I do, it puts the show on there twice. Because it integrates from YouTube anyway the next day. So if I put it on there live, then there's 2 copies of the same show. So, and to be honest, it's kind of a bitch to set up. And it doesn't always work. Which is odd. But go ahead, Dread. Give us a topic, dude, because there ain't a whole lot to talk about. Dread's like, what the
fuck? I don't know what it is either. Let's see. We got the Zelda thing. I'm sure you guys talked about.
Yep. We did not talk about Bomber's yeast infection yet.
Oh, well, you know how you tell how bad it is?
You put them in the oven and they start to rise?
No. You count by the knuckles.
Ah, that's one way.
So,
have a face for radio.
That's why I was a radio DJ for a couple of years, right? I don't know. Well, if we're stuck for something, let me just ask you this. All right, we're just several weeks away now from obviously the essentially what was supposed to be an E3, and now it's just a bunch of showcases for different people. We're kind of now at the pinnacle, I think, of of the generation where we're at. And certainly, well, I guess, and to some extent, we're kind of just getting started, really, when you look at the Xbox and the PlayStation platforms right now, because, the first 2 years were largely set back by COVID restrictions and different things. And now we're starting to see consoles in stores. More people are getting access to them. And we're also seeing now a bit of a flood of games coming forward that are, finally getting out of that development hell, or that sort of that lull, that backtracking and sort of thing, because, again, COVID restrictions and studios trying to get back to going full bore. But what is it you think from the main three, between Nintendo and PlayStation and Xbox? I mean, what do you think should be their first priority moving forward? If you were to put yourself in their shoes, whether it's games, it's hardware, and so forth. And I'll just give you an example. Like with Nintendo, we'll start there. This might be the last big game release for them for quite some time, technically speaking, because the Switch is still selling really, really well, surprisingly, but it's getting a bit long in the tooth. And I think even Nintendo is starting to realize that their ceiling for for the Switch is pretty much been packed already. And so where do they go? Like I said, about time that they drop hardware. And do we think that, both PlayStation and Xbox may come out? We hear all these rumors all the time about the mid-gen refreshes. But what would you focus on if you're either one of those? I mean, with Sony right now, I mean, they're resting on the fact that they've got some big games, or they've had some big games, and they got Spider-Man 2 coming out this fall. So is status quo for them for the most part? And what do you do if you're Xbox? I mean, how do you try to gain a little momentum here heading into the next phase?
You better bring something good to the table.
Yeah. I was going to say, for a mid-gen refresh part of it, the only thing I could see that's feasible is give us consoles with bigger hard drives. That way, especially the Series S. We've already complained about how little of it is, but you wouldn't even have to do that if you actually made everybody use the tools. You got your compression, FSR, something like it. Anyway, you got the compression for the low res. That way, you don't have to have as much in storage. And then the console's supposed to upscale everything anyways to high res from the low res. So why aren't we using those tools? If they were to use all the tools that are available and get them more matured and force these other companies to do that, then, hell, maybe we can actually see the power that these consoles actually have on paper, because they're not doing it. The only difference between the X and the S is the fact that the CPU is slightly slower and you have less memory. Okay, so if the CPU, most games are CPU bound, what's the difference? Slightly slower. Okay, less memory is basically on the graphical side. So we already know it's a 1080 box, which can do 4K certain times. I'm not saying it has to do 4K, but the frames are there, especially if you lower the resolution. So PC does it all the time. So the whole gripe of this is really kind of on this, I don't know, idiotic, stupid side. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense that, they have two consoles there, so that's two SKUs. Well, yeah, but you've got the box. Your SDK is already set up to show you the switch automatically on the fly between the two, and you're switching from PC status down to what the console's supposed to be, and then seeing if it works. So a lot of that stuff should be. I know it's not a flip of a switch, but just to make it, layman's terms, a flip of the switch,
right?
And if they do that, then we can actually see the power, and then we can actually truly milk, like they did at the end of the 360 era, milk every ounce from every little corner that they can find, and they're not even there yet. I mean, it took them. I mean, we're still crawling here. We're not even, taking off.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything close to what these consoles should be able to do.
Exactly, and this is across Xbox and PlayStation.
Oh yeah, that's
I know PlayStation can do more. Most people probably would have thought you meant the S and X, but I'm talking about across the board.
Right. Do you guys think that we see perhaps a price drop sooner than later? And if so, what do you think Xbox may lead the charge here to try to gain a little momentum, since we've seen a bit of a sales drop off with them in various territories?
I don't know.
Well, they just announced that. Not just announced; it's been out for a while.
They dropped
the
the
Diablo 4 bundle, right? That is coming in hot at full price plus the game minus $10, I think. So
you know what would
that's
be
not
really
getting
great?
a price drop anytime soon, I don't think.
Yeah, but you know what would be great with that is if they actually gave you a Diablo 4 console. It's just saying it's a basic console with the game.
Yeah.
You know, and I know PlayStation did that with God of War because I got that PlayStation. But come on, it's like at least PlayStation could swap out the face plates and then just say, here you go. You know, they didn't even do that.
They have those they have the Final Fantasy ones that you can buy in Japan.
Yeah.
The custom plates, right? Which look pretty cool. But yeah, for me, Noof, on your question, just my personal I would like Nintendo to release a console that has power, because I'm not like the OLED Switch right now here is $450 plus tax, which is like what, $520, and I'm just like, I no. And PlayStation, I would really like a showcase because they've been dark for like almost 3 years now, right? And if the rumors are true, which rumors,
trust me, bro,
of the show on the 25th, typically their shows have been announced a week in advance. So if this rumor comes true, that means Thursday there will be a tweet that says we're having a show next week, which would be cool. I would like to see it. And for Xbox, they need to get their first party in house. They need to get that shit sorted out somehow. And if Starfield comes out and it's not, it doesn't even have to be a 10. If it's not like a 9.5 and it's just, if it's what I expect it to be when it releases, it's not going to be a good time. So sort out.
I think that's part of it, though. You know, that's the other part is, I've said it before, Redfall, right? The hype level is way up there, that this is going to be the greatest thing. It's the next step in the evolution for Xbox. And then Starfield is just going to knock it out of the park. And it's not going to happen like that. You know, your hype level is that high. Your game comes out and it's not exactly what you expected. And then what? It's the shittiest game ever. This game is shit. I mean, we've got people with 4090s complaining on how shit it looks. And it's like, dude, it's not hyper-realism.
Yeah, there's going to be no in between here. Either the game is going to be amazing or the game is going to be shit. There's very few people that are going to go, well, the game is pretty damn good. It just missed the mark.
Well, and the funny thing is, too, with the gaming media, Nintendo can do no wrong. We all know that. Nintendo can re-release a dog taking a shit and IGN to give it a 9.9 or 10.
Yeah.
And I mean, they released cardboard, for Christ's sakes.
literal cardboard.
And told people it was a VR.
And
I mean, it felt like we went back to the 20s.
Shit. Yeah. And, you know, the media, it doesn't really matter. Me personally, I don't care about Starfield. I'm not into those type of games. But this game could be amazing and blow the doors off a lot of other games. And a lot of journalist sites are probably going to give it hell anyway.
Oh, I mean, Hi-Fi Rush got Xbox taxed because Xbox hadn't put out enough games. What kind of shit is that?
Hi-Fi Rush isn't my type of thing. It looked cool, but I'm not into rhythm fighting games.
You don't even need to be. I played the first level, and you can just button mash the entire time.
Well, see, I like that other game. What was it called? Hell something or other?
Oh, yeah, that one there. Yeah, that one there was fun. But
Metal Hellsinger or something where it was
Metal Hellsinger.
First-person shooter.
It was fun, but it
I downloaded it. I tried to play it. I got through like the first 15 minutes. Like, yeah, fuck all this. I don't care. You know,
I played a session, and I was done with it. I mean, I enjoyed what I played, but it was just like, okay, I'm done with this. I'm just
I like the music, but I wasn't, trying to be their drummer.
If you want to listen to heavy metal and play a first-person shooter, just play Doom, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day,
and with the beat, and you know what I mean, and trying to move at the same time and still keep your shots, you know, But at the same time, it's you're talking about being taxed because the company didn't put out enough games, and you push a game down on a score just because of that. That
That's
that
an
doesn't sound
89
right.
on OpenCritic.
Now, see, the funny part now, Metacritic came out over Aloy, right? They came out and said, they're going to fix all these, bogus,
Oh, I don't refer to Metacritic.
all these. Well, I don't either, but I just thought the whole thing was funny.
OpenCritic.
They were like, oh, well, we're going to mash all these, blatantly obvious downvotes. Let's
Oh,
see
the
if we keep
user
that-
reviews is what you're talking about.
Yeah, let's see if they keep
Yeah.
that energy for other games as well. Because see,
Yeah, I'm
to me
talking about-
personally, I like the game. With Aloy and all that, I thought it was cool. I got bored with it because the dialogue was way too long. The story and the side missions really didn't grab me like the original game for Horizon. So I got bored. I haven't even finished the original. So not everybody sees these games the same way. But yet the gaming media will be like, oh, this is a 10 out of 10. It's great. It's amazing. I was sitting on the edge of my seat playing it. I got really tired of shooting fucking, robotic dinosaurs after a few hours. I just started beating them with a club or with that staff because I got tired of shooting with a bow and arrow. I mean, let's be realistic. If you're going to go after a robotic dinosaur that's, let's say 30 feet tall, I don't think a bow and arrow is going to do a lot of good in the real world now, would it? I mean, I just don't see it. That's like taking a knife to a gunfight.
You just need
So-
explosive arrows like Rambo had
Yeah.
in part 2.
Yeah, exactly.
More like
yeah.
a toothpick to a gunfight.
Yeah, I mean, you give me my choice. I want something a little better than a bow and arrow to take out robotic dinosaurs. That weigh
Awesome.
10,000
Wow.
pounds.
One of the
Some
biggest
TNT
problems I had
or,
with that game, and I still
or
have
not.
with that game, is that they made that weapon wheel on that game got way too confusing and over congested, and I think that they had way too many weapons that ultimately just weren't that useful. Yeah, it added some they added some creativity, but like trying to use some of that stuff in the heat of a battle, like you said, the traps for one, like you had to press down and they kind of had to load up or whatever. There was just a lot of shit that at the end of the day you just weren't enticed to use because it just really didn't add that much to it.
I never used one single trap the entire game.
Me
Not
neither.
one.
I play on easy mode and you don't have to.
I tried it a couple different times on the original, and it just, like New said, it got so cumbersome and annoying.
Yeah,
I
hit
gave
the
up trying
button
to
and then
use
try to select from that massive wheel. On top of the fact, not only are you trying to select a weapon, but you're trying to select weapon types within the wheel. It's
Yeah.
like, Jesus, what the fuck?
And then that that dinosaur's tail hits you one time, you're fucking dead. So you're like,
Which
oh,
you
well,
should
that
be.
trap worked out
Let's be
great.
honest. It's a 50-foot tall
Yeah,
dinosaur.
yeah, exactly. That works out. But I'm going to shoot.
That's
I'm going to
realistic.
shoot cinnamon toothpicks at it.
Mm.
And I'm going to kill it that way.
Yeah.
So it just, I don't know.
And for what it's worth, Hi-Fi Rush has a higher score than Horizon Forbidden West on OpenCritic.
Wow,
Yeah,
I'm shocked.
very, very critically acclaimed.
Yeah, like I said, it just wasn't my type of thing. But I did download it. I played it for a few minutes. I'm good.
I played the first level, Dread. You're going to be proud of me. Played it on cloud
Nice.
streaming. Played it on cloud streaming from my
Hey,
laptop.
well, as long as you try it, I mean that's the
Dual
thing,
Sense
right?
5. Yep.
Mhm.
Tried it out. It's like I might as well try it. It's like this is cool, but yeah, cool. Cool.
I mean, like, I didn't get into, I've said it before. Redfall was not my type of thing that I was looking forward to. The more closer and closer I got, the more intrigued I was. I played it and actually had fun with it because I wasn't expecting anything out of it. Yeah, did it have bugs? Yeah. Was there glitches? Yeah, there was issues. Some of the stuff we were actually laughing at. I mean, I even posted a short where we had a blast and we would all fall to our death and then just get back up, and it just kept on reoccurring. Boom, boom, boom. All right, so it didn't kill the game. It was just funny. I mean, some glitches are game breaking. I've seen some stuff, but the whole time I was streaming, I didn't see any pop-ups. I didn't see any of this. And I think it's odd that each person was like, hey, what are you on? What are you on? And most people are on console. either have the issue or don't have the issue. And then it's the same thing with PC. It's like there is no, okay, well, there's more people on console having this issue, or more people on PC with this certain graphics card that have an issue. It's just so random.
Now,
know.
speaking of glitches, I had a funny one yesterday. I'm using Jacobs. He's got that heart stopper sniper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I was in a nest, in a vampire nest,
Mm-hmm.
and I pulled up the stopper, and I got knocked into a crevice and died. Well, it respawned me with the stopper with infinite ammo, and it wouldn't go away. So I'm on the second part of the island.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
It was a good thing because some of them vampires you can one shot. And dude, I killed like fucking 30 damn vampires inside that nest in a matter of minutes. Went straight over and blew up the nest heart and was out. But then my weapon went back to normal. So
yeah, I mean, I was playing. I forgot the guy's name. He's the guy in the yellow jacket. He's the cryptoid hunter. That guy, I've got a staff that I throw out there, and it electrocutes everybody within the range. Well, I got onto the vampire's foot, and he chased me down. It's somewhere out there. I mean, I was streaming it, so you could see it. But Retri actually went through and cut that clip out too, and you could see him running, and there's that thing stuck to his foot, chasing me down, not affecting him whatsoever. I mean, yeah, was that game breaking? No, not really. It was funny. I mean, I died. They revived me, but it was just kind of funny stuff. I don't see it as bad when it's funny. You know what I mean? You've always laughed at it. People now are like, oh, this sucks, this and that, and anything that they can cry about. What's going to happen with Starfield? Todd Howard already said it's 30 frames per second because that's the way that he likes to portray his cinematic game. So people are like, it better be 60. It better be 60. Well, shit, they've already put the message out. It's going to be 30. What kind of animosity are they going to flip out over now?
And if they change their mind, they can always put a sticker on the box that says this has a 60 mode.
And that's what I'm saying. That's where they need that's another area that Xbox needs to fix is their messaging, is their quality control, not just in the game, but in their messaging. Because when you say 60 frames a second on the whole game that spans between Xbox and PC, and you're talking about Xbox Series X and SX, okay, well, each one can do something slightly different. But if you don't optimize for each one for their thing, it says keyboard and mouse optimized for S and X. It says the game is optimized for S and X in a different cloud within that same thing. And then it says 60. Well, I'm like, well, it doesn't say 60 optimized for S and X. It just says 60, and it's not grayed out like the other parts are when they're talking about Series X. So again, the messaging is wrong. They had influencers playing on PCs with controllers, so it was up to them to decide and decipher what they were playing on. But they were also playing on, at a different level with a little vertical of a level that their characters have all the weapons. So obviously they're building up, and here we are in the training sessions and trying to figure out what's going on. So yet again, the messaging from the or the marketing is coming out wrong. They need to fix that. That's something else that needs to be fixed. Not 2 weeks later going, or 2 weeks prior going, hey, you know what? We didn't hit that 60 mark, so it's going to be 30. Well, why didn't you say 30 from the get-go? And like Peniac said, hey, you know what? Here's a surprise. I know we said 30, but we managed to fix it, and now it's 60.
See, that's a good sticker to put on the box.
Right.
When you put bad stickers on the box, that's not good. Like with the show coming up, I really think that if whatever they show, I really, really, really think it has to be Series X footage. It has to be. This bleeding edge PC footage of what a game is going to look like when it's not the representation of what the game is going to look like for probably the majority of people who are going to play these games. It kind of sucks. I don't like it, and I never have. And just
they should have.
If it's on PC, just put it on the bottom. This is from a PC.
Just do a three
that's
vertical
all I have to
slice,
do.
like they
Or
do for
have
comparisons.
this is on Series X, this is on S. It's so
Yeah.
it's disappointing. Just time and time again, they show these wicked ass trailers like that OG Hellblade 2 trailer. You think that was on the console? Fuck out of here. That was on the best PC you could buy at the time. And probably the gameplay footage was on the best PC you could buy at the time. And it's just, I don't know, man. Just, you're a gaming console company, in theory, apparently. Show the games what they're going to look like on your hardware. It should be simple, or say it otherwise. Say this is on PC. Okay, cool. Then my expectations are in check. This is probably not what it's going to look like on my piece of hardware. So cool. But yeah, just like transparency, right? Be honest. Right?
Well, that's very rare for any company to be honest anymore. So that's a rarity. I don't care what kind of company it is.
Oh, I've already said they're all about making money. The money's the number one thing, and making you happy is what gets them money. So that's what they're going to do. They're going to say whatever you want to hear, to sell that product. Well, not always, but that's typically you want to sell to your audience is to tell you what you want to hear and provide a product. That product doesn't always match up to what they sell to you.
Oh, no.
This is one of those prime examples.
And on that note, we're going to get the hell out of here. So,
all right.
Most of our panel had to spend Mother's Day with their moms and their, all that good stuff. So we're going to call it a little bit early tonight.
So you just got us.
Yeah.
So, Piniac, tell everybody where they can find you, dude, so they know how to block you.
You can find me tonight at 11 p.m. my time watching Game 6 of the Oilers hopefully winning and extending their season. And you'll see some tweets about that, I'm sure. Noof, you'll see some tweets about that, I'm sure. But other than that, in the gaming space, Sunday nights here, 7 p.m. Peniac Giant, Twitter, Peniac Giant.
Mm-hmm.
You know where I am. You know where to find me.
Yep.
It's all good. Yeah.
And nobody tries to find you.
That's okay. I like story-driven mode anyway. Fuck multiplayer.
All right, Dread, tell everybody where they can find you, man.
Yeah, you can find me here at 7 when I'm awake and not running around and trying to figure out where my vehicle's not fixed. Or 10 a.m. at Fridays with Breakfast Boom. Didn't really spend much time with my mom today. I didn't buy her any jewelry because she really can't wear it anymore. But yeah, happy Mother's Day. Hung out with the wife. But you look up the YouTube Dreadpool channel where the O's are actually O's. You'll see a whole bunch of good stuff out there. So yeah, thanks. Back at you. Noof, where can we find you?
Absolutely. Well, first off, Wilmy, thanks for the amazing opportunity to come back and be on Gaming Beyond the Box. Too bad, like I said, most of the panel weren't able to be here tonight, but it's always fun hanging out with you, Peniac Giant, and of course, a good friend, Dread. You can find me on my channel, which is Noof Nukem, pretty much Noof Nukem, just about everywhere. And for those who aren't acquainted and didn't know, have a new show coming up on Monday night, June the 5th, starting at 9 Eastern, 7 Mountain Time, 8 Central. It is called The Gaming Fuse, a 60-minute intensely packed podcast with a few surprises and a whole lot more. You do not want to miss the inaugural episode. It's going to be definitely an eye-opener and should be a fun show. Looking forward to getting back to that. But otherwise, let's get back to gaming. Let's keep it real. As always, you can find it right here with Gaming Beyond the Box. Thanks, guys. Have a great night, and cheers to the chat.
Your inauguration is not going to cost as much as one for Prince Charles, right?
No, not anywhere as close. No.
Okay.
Not anywhere close.
But when you said inaugural, I was like, I got to take that one. All right, and thank you everybody for tuning in. You can subscribe, hit the like button, tell everybody where you found us. And you can find me, Wilmy Hood, on Twitter. Look for Wilmy Hood number 2. You can find me on Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam. I do have a Switch, but it's not been turned on in, I think, 4 years now. Yeah, 4 years. Except my grandson, he plays it on occasion. So that's about all mine's good for.
What'd you play 4 years ago? That's what I want to know.
Zelda.
Yeah, I did
Link
try
to the
Breath of
Past.
the Wild. There was a couple other games. I basically went for the old games.
Yeah, I was gonna say
They're-
Link to the Past. That
And
was
the
like the last
original.
thing I remember. Yeah.
Yep.
But not The Legend of Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link, because that game sucks ass.
I like the original.
Yeah, the first one's good. The part 2 was bullshit. It's terrible. Terrible.
There's a lot of terrible games, dude. A lot. If you don't believe that, all you got to do is look through
Oh
Steam.
man, did you see my post of that fucking game that I found on the PlayStation Store today?
No.
I went to the sale page and I just scrolled and scrolled and scrolled, and oh my fuck, there's so much junk out there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of
Super
junk.
bad.
And man, I own PS Plus related a lot of games that I'm like, shit, I own that. Okay, cool. Keep going. It's just like, man,
Yeah.
it's such a dump. No, don't go look at it because it's such a dumpster fire of so much crap.
Yeah, the Nintendo store literally is like a big bag of shit. You literally got to weed through for a good peanut every now and then. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just like Steam.
Oh my god, it's bad.
Yeah, Steam, dude. I'm
Just
telling you,
like-
man, you can spend 3 hours just trying to find something decent sometimes.
Hmm.
Depends on what you're
Isn't that
looking
what you
for.
said about? Isn't that what you said about Tinder?
Hmm.
You got to weed through to find a good nut.
Not me. You're thinking of Fork. Fork's not on the podcast anymore.
Oh.
No, I was thinking of Noof.
Yeah, the OnlyFans.
That's it. Duke's got an OnlyFans in case you guys didn't know.
Noof's wife's like, "What did he just say?"
But on that note, we are
Don't pay
out of
attention
here.
to men with beards. Okay, just don't pay attention.
Everybody, have a great week. Get in some gaming. We'll see you here next Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.